They envy you, but they don't know what you went through. There's something you need to understand right now, because maybe no one has ever put it into words the way it truly deserves. Yes, they envy you. Yes, they talk behind your back. Yes, they watch you with silent eyes, wishing they had your strength, your aura, your favor, your shine. But what they don't know is what it cost you. The silent price of becoming you. They see you now, calm, confident, radiant. They see you walking with your head high, living as though nothing can break you. But what they don't see is the fire that molded you. They weren't there on those nights when you cried yourself to sleep, when it felt like the entire world had turned its back on you. They weren't there when people betrayed you, people you would have laid your life down for. They weren't there when you lost everything and had to start from zero with nothing but faith and sheer willpower. They envy the final product, but they never lived through the process. They want your crown, but they don't want your cross. They want your blessing, but they couldn't handle your burden. And the truth is this: if they were in your shoes, they would have broken in the first chapter. A story they'll never understand. Imagine someone standing in front of a finished masterpiece, a beautiful painting, colors glowing, details so rich it leaves them breathless. They stand in awe and say, "I wish I could do that. I wish I had that gift." But they weren't there when the artist was sitting in a dimly lit room, frustrated, broke, doubting their own hands. They weren't there when the canvas looked like chaos, when nothing was coming together, when hours turned into nights, and nights into weeks of struggle. That's your life. People see the masterpiece, but they don't know the hours, the battles, the tears that went into creating it. They think you just woke up one day and had this glow. They think blessings just fell into your lap. They don't know you had to wrestle with storms that almost drowned you, losses that almost crushed you, and trials that almost killed you. If they were you, they wouldn't have survived it. But you did. You paid in silence. What they don't understand is the weight of silent battles. The kind of pain you couldn't explain even if you tried. The kind of nights where your only prayer was, "God, just help me make it through." You've been through betrayals that would have left them bitter. You've faced disappointments that would have left them hopeless. You've carried responsibilities that would have left them broken. And yet here you are, still standing. They envy your strength, but they don't understand your scars. They envy your light, but they don't understand the darkness you had to crawl through just to find it. If they wore your shoes for even 1 week, their knees would buckle. If they carried your load for even 1 day, they'd collapse under the pressure. But you carried it all and still managed to rise. The strength they can't imitate. You see, envy is rooted in ignorance. They want the fruit without planting the seed. They want the harvest without enduring the drought. They want the victory without fighting the war. But the reason you shine so bright is because you did endure. You did fight. You did break. And then you rebuilt yourself stronger, wiser, and sharper than ever before. You are not who you are today because life was easy. You are who you are because life tested you and you refused to quit. They want to be you, but they could never be you, because only you were chosen to carry this story, this testimony, this journey. The weight of chosen ones. Make no mistake about it, you are chosen. And being chosen comes with a price that most can't handle. That's why they envy you. Your very existence is a mirror to them. When they see you, they're reminded of their own excuses. When they watch you, they're reminded of the moments they quit. When they feel your presence, they're reminded that they could have been more, but they chose comfort while you chose growth. It's not you they hate, it's what you represent. They don't want to admit it, but they see in you what they don't see in themselves: resilience, courage, alignment, favor. If they were you, they would break. They think it's easy. They think it's all blessings and opportunities. But if they had lived your battles, they wouldn't have survived. They wouldn't have made it through the nights you had to smile in public while your heart was breaking in private. They wouldn't have had the patience to build from scratch when everything you worked for was stolen or destroyed. They wouldn't have had the discipline to keep moving when every door seemed to slam shut. You did. That's why you're still here. That's why you're walking in your season now. That's why you are blessed. They want the stage, but not the sacrifice. They want the spotlight, but not the struggle. They want the throne but not the thorns. But without the thorns you wouldn't have the wisdom. Without the fire you wouldn't have the strength. Without the breaking you wouldn't have the blessing. You paid for your power. The truth is, your power wasn't handed to you, it was earned. Every tear became fuel. Every betrayal became a lesson. Every loss became a stepping stone. That's why no one can take your place. That's why no one can duplicate your journey. That's why no matter how much they envy you, they will never be you. Because being you requires walking through storms they'd never survive. Being you requires carrying weights they'd never bear. Being you requires faith they don't have and endurance they can't fathom. You are not ordinary. You are extraordinary because you survived what was meant to destroy you. And still you rise. The most powerful part of your story is not just that you survived, it's that you thrived. After all the pain, after all the setbacks, after all the tears, you still found a way to stand tall, to smile again, to believe again. That's what they envy most. Not the material things, not the external success. What they envy most is the strength in your spirit, the unshakable resilience that says, I will not break no matter what comes my way. And that's the part they'll never understand, because if they had lived your life, they would have given up. They would have quit. They would have folded. But you didn't. The lesson for you. So the next time you notice the whispers, the stares, the envy, remember this. They only see the glory, never the story. Don't let their jealousy distract you. Don't let their envy discourage you. Instead, let it remind you of just how powerful you really are. Let it remind you that you were built to withstand storms that others would never endure. Let it remind you that you were chosen for this journey, and no one can take that from you. Yes, they envy you. Yes, they want to be you. But if they were you, they would have broken. And that's the undeniable truth. Closing encouragement. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to type, I will not break in the comments. Let the world know that you are unshakable, unmovable, and unstoppable. And before you go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so that this powerful message can reach more chosen ones like you. If you want to support the growth of this channel and help me continue delivering these powerful messages, you can contribute using the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Every contribution, no matter the size, helps keep these messages coming strong. Remember this, they envy you, but they don't know the price you paid. Walk boldly in your truth because you are built different. You are built unbreakable.